Welcome back, peeps. I've had COVID, family visits, and other stuff impeding me from uploading, but we are back. Today we're looking at one of the first build videos this season for hunters, specializing in wiping out overload champions with a single rocket thanks to enhanced throwing knife abilities and seasonal perks. A very potent mob clearer and a solo build that has numerous ways of igniting targets. It's a blast, and very strong for Lost Sector runs and Nightfalls. Slap that like button for the algorithm if you find this video useful. A dim link will be included in the description. Let's begin, starting with the core gameplay loop. For this build, when slotting a combination of Athry's Embrace and exotic perk, the Revitalizing Blast seasonal perk, and any rocket whilst Overload rocket launcher is selected on your artifact, you can one-shot Overload champions in Master difficulty, on top of having multiple ways of igniting mobs of ads and dealing considerable damage per second. Starting with Athry's, getting rapid precision hits procs its exotic perk, granting a very powerful weighted throwing knife. When selected, that deals 200% more damage than a regular knife and can stun unstoppables. On stun champions, this knife does a considerable amount of damage to them, and with the Revitalizing Blast mod, they are also weakened when the knife makes contact. Then comes the Overload rocket launcher seasonal perk. It grants a whopping 80% damage buff to rocket launchers in endgame activities against overloads. Combined with Radiant or Argent Ordnance, the rocket one-shots overloads in Master content. The build also comes with a ton of ignition options. Getting precision kills with weighted throwing knife ignites combatants. Hitting a target that has been scorched with a throwing knife also ignites them, whilst Razor Precision, the 5th column artifact perk, whilst Radiant allows solar precision kills to ignite combatants too. And on top of that, the Gunpowder Gamble aspect for hunters, which is also considered an ignition, which can wipe out mobs easily. All these options can stun unstoppables too. For weapons, I strongly recommend a solar elemental weapon that can deal rapid precision hits. Look no further than the recently buffed Vex Mythoclast. It has received a massive damage buff when in linear fusion mode, 200% damage increase, capable of two-shotting them if Radiant and Weaken effects are active in Master difficulty. Not only does it have higher chances of spawning heavy ammo for your rocket launcher of choice, when paired with the seasonal perk, Flint Striker, landing consecutive precision hits grants Radiant. Dealing with a barrier champion, use Vex on it until Flint Striker gives you Radiant. Vex then stuns the barrier, switch to ult mode, throw Athry's knife at them and finish them off with linear Vex. Vex does a lot of damage to red bars and pairs nicely with the Razor Precision seasonal perk, which upon getting a precision kill with the Vex whilst Radiant, the target ignites, killing everything around it, making it a strong ad clearer this season. There are a couple of downsides to using the Vex: surges and ad density. If this surge is not solar and fusions aren't overcharged, the weapon will not be as effective, and igniting targets with Vex will kill surrounding ads. If you're dealing with multiple champions, this can be problematic as you will not be able to swap to linear mode often. For overloads, rockets obviously, but I wouldn't bother using them to stun. Use a pulse or an auto instead to get Athry's proc while stunning them at the same time, finishing them off with a single rocket. You won't need to worry about special weapons as the build eliminates the need for them. For which launcher, it's entirely up to you. Solar rockets are top choices for this. Apex Predator is my top pick, especially when bait switch procs. Still with me? Awesome! Consider subscribing if you are new to the channel and drop a like for the algorithm so that others can listen to my dribble. This video is sponsored by C.P. Clarke Author, an up-and-coming sci-fi writer who has just recently published a book called Domain, an epic encounter with the largest vessel ever to be seen in space. The governments of this universe struggle to keep the peace, and with the galaxy's last hope falling on the shoulders of a misfit crew. It's free to read if you are one of the first 100 people to click the link in the description. If not, please find a hard copy link on Amazon. The rest of the solo build is as follows. We've covered the knife and gunpowder gamble already. There is another issue with the build, and that's survivability. Healing grenades can cover that, especially as you'll have the gamble to replace the healing nade if it's ready for damage. The other aspect is knock 'em down, which refunds your knife when getting a kill with it whilst Radiant. When paired with the Torches fragment, the knife automatically refunds on knife kill as this frag will make you Radiant on a hit. Eruption makes ignitions go bigger, boom. Enough said. Empyrean extends the duration of Radiant and Recuperation when getting solar kills of any kind, and the final frag is up to you. You could go with Solace for increased Radiant and Restoration durations, or Wonder for Ignition Orbs. I went with the latter. It's up to you. The remaining seasonal perks go to Kindling Trigger. When Radiant, solar weapon scorch targets, making it useful to get ignitions off when using the weighted throwing knife. Argent Ordnance makes the cut too, although if I'm not mistaken it cannot stack with Radiant, but in the odd scenario that you are not Radiant, Godslayer Warheads will grant rockets a 15% buff to damage. This build requires high resilience, and I'll suggest mobility and strength too. I cannot tell you how many times I've got into trouble as my abilities all run out. The following armor mods will complement the build, with heavy-handed and solar siphon generating orbs, which get consumed by innovation and recuperation mods for grenade and health regeneration respectively. Impact induction grants grenade energy on knife melee hits, whilst knife kills grant super energy thanks to hands-on. Finally, Solar Scavenger will grant extra rocket ammo when picking up purple bricks. You can also slot Powerful Attraction to pick up orbs around you. The main issue with this build is survivability. It works in Master, but GM difficulty may be a bit too far. High ability uptime can fail too, but if you time them right, you'll have an absolute beast of a build that even surprised me. I only used to use Athrys for PvP, but it is more than viable in PvE. Let me know in the comments what changes you would make to this build, and a reminder, a dim link is in the description. That's it for this video. There are tons of content planned, but with a long season ahead of us, I might stagger the schedule just a bit. Expect Warlock and Titan builds soon, and a review of the seasonal linear fusion rifle. One red border to go. Like and sub if you found this video informative. Thank you for watching. This was Plasma Alchemist. Your viewership is much appreciated. Until next time, see you later.
Fight forever, Guardian!